Hello, my name is Josh Gonzalez. Today I'll be talking about Unit 3 for Introductions to Speech Communications. Unit 3 comprises of chapters 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 and focuses on interpersonal communications. Basically, it's the interconnected and interdependence between communicators. Chapters 8 and 9 focuses on the different types of relationships we as people can have and how to manage conflict in those relationships. As many people know, we can have different types of relationships: familial relationships, friendly relationships, romantic relationships, social relationships, and online relationships, varying between the different intimacies between each one. For example, family and friend intimacy in that relationship is less than romantic intimacy in a romantic relationship. However, the level of intimacy is greater in family and friend than it is in social and online relationships. And with any relationship, there is conflict. How to manage that conflict is what focuses in Chapter 9. There are three types of styles that you can manage conflict. One is the competitive style, where there is a win-lose situation, where one communicator wins over the argument or the conflict one communicator loses the argument or the conflict. This is not ideal, basically because one person wins the argument and the other person loses. There's no win-win scenario. Then there's the avoidance style of conflict, where you don't really talk about the conflict between the two people and nothing really solves anything, and you're still in the lose-lose situation. Then there's the cooperative style of conflict, which is a win-win situation where you both listen and respect each other's opinions of that conflict, and you resolve that conflict by coming to a compromise. Basically, this is the main focus of Chapter 9 and how that this is the key way a conflict should be managed. There's also different levels of relationships, how they start. There's the starting stage, and then it goes on to the exploration stage, to then the next stage, which involves more intimacy, and so on. Chapter 10, 11, and 12 also focuses on relationships, but most importantly in groups and organizations. Groups and organizations are not that different from one another. With a group, it's a more tight-knit group of people communicating with each other, and the group can get larger, but once it becomes more larger, it seems similar to an organization. However, the difference between a group and organization is that a group is made to accomplish a specific task, while an organization is solely built to accomplish one singular goal for everyone in that group, rather than having the independence that a group can have. There's also, in Chapter 10, the idea of leadership within a group. Some groups can have leaders, other groups cannot have leaders. There's no right or wrong answer if you have a leader or not. The main idea focused behind a leader is that it is a selected individual who is highly respected and highly admired by the peers of the group, and that is why they are the leader. There's also different ways to obtain leadership. However, the negative ways that you can obtain it are through fear and through bullying. This is not ideal, as that the group is only fearful of their leader, and the leader only has his or their goals in mind. The way you communicate in groups can be linear, which is person A talks to person B, who then communicates to person C, and so on. Then the most ideal way to communicate in groups is that if you have everyone communicating with each other, so that way everyone knows what is going on and no lines get crossed. There's also different roles that people in groups have to take, as if there is not a leader, there has to be an initiator of the group, so that way it can focus the group's members on the specific task and goal, and so on. Basically, this chapter has really everything that a person needs to know about communicating and the relationships that people have. There's nothing really that needs to be taken out that a person should not learn. I think one of the main key factors of this unit and of these chapters is that people can benefit knowing that communication in relationships and in groups is the key that makes a group and relationship healthy. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.